Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be swatching out my Reeves Watercolors. I've had these paints for a really long time now. I actually vaguely remember buying them. I bought them in 2012. I don't know why I chose to. I was just at Michael's and I was trying to get more into painting because at the time I was only into just drawing in general, and I did a lot of digital art at that time. And I wanted to give painting a try, so I had picked up some stuff. I know I did a little bit of acrylic back then. I tried oil painting once and didn't care for it. I did one painting with it, and I hated the cleanup. I don't know if I'd be willing to give it a try in the future, maybe, but when I bought the oil paint, I also bought Reeves Watercolors. I have, it was a 12 set or 13. It came with a white, which I didn't put in my palette, and I don't have the tubes anymore because I gave them away to a friend. I've been acquiring a lot of watercolor paint lately, so I was trying to look to give away paint that I knew I wasn't going to get around to using. So I don't have that. I noticed when I was looking around online for Reeves, they do have other colors. They have like 18 and 24 sets, which some will come with purples and magentas, which kind of would have been nice to have. I don't want to go and get more paint for Reeves just because I already have a bunch of paint in other brands, or there's other brands I would like to expand more on. So yeah, there's that. You can get these paints at Michael's. I looked around on Amazon for them, and they are out right now, and I don't know, with more people still being at home, that they're just temporarily out of stock. I know my local art shop has them. I was just there yesterday and I saw that they had a couple of, I believe it was the 24 packs of Reeves colors, and these are pretty cheap watercolor. They are student grade, and I'm pretty sure they are or were owned by Winsor & Newton. So yeah, if you go to Reeves' website though, you can search watercolors, but it doesn't really talk about their watercolors a lot, so I'm not even sure if they're still in production. These don't have any pigment information either. All I had was just the names that were on the tubes that I wrote down before I gave them to my friend. One thing I realized now that I needed to do is I need to add my little opacity stripe to these. Pardon me, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, we have that done now. So these are the colors I have. I've already had them in this palette. I put this in the same palette as my Winsor & Newton because I didn't have that many of each, and they are close to the same. I will say that Winsor & Newton definitely has a better consistency for some of these, with the exception of my burnt umber. But yeah, it is what it is. It's still gonna work. I already put a little bit of water in here to get them wet so that I can start working. I did swatch these out previously but at the time I wasn't as interested in trying to use these because I don't know, they didn't come out very well. It was a quick swatch. And I believe I did this on cellulose paper. I think this might be Strathmore paper. But for these, I will be doing, this is on the Arteza Expert Watercolor paper, and this is the same as all of my other swatches that I've done so far. So, let's get to swatching. Hopefully they look better. I'm going to start and work my way around in a circle, and I'll end at the black, the ivory black and burnt umber. So. For this, I will be using a combination of a flat brush and number 4 round brush. I don't really know a ton about these paints because I could not find a lot online about these. So unfortunately, I really don't have much to talk about with them. I know they're a student grade paint. I believe last I heard that they were made by Winsor & Newton. They are a very cheap paint. I bought them at Michael's. And that's kind of about it. That's kind of all the information I have about these. Like, I tried to find information about the pigments or anything else between like staining, opacity, and stuff like that, and I could not find anything. So if anybody has any better information about these watercolors, please feel free to leave a comment below, because I don't know anything. I don't think it's swatching too bad so far, so that's a plus. everybody, I'm back. I finished the swatches off camera because I realized as I was going through them I didn't have enough and I needed to make 2 more cards for the ivory black and the burnt umber. And I also just went ahead and did the lifting tests. So here is the lemon yellow. It is very opaque or chalky or whichever you want to call it. You can still see it even down here when I tried to do layers. It's over the lines, and then you can't really see a whole lot of difference in these. It lifted a little bit, but it's yellow, so I don't really know how well you can see that. I just finished up the burnt umber. It's a little grainy. I don't know. It's not very. It didn't come out super smooth, so it looks a little bit granulated. My layers didn't come out the best, but I still got about 6 layers in there. It lifts pretty well. Ivory black, again, I probably could have fit another layer on here. I wasn't obviously doing them super thick. There's that. That's the dispersion test. It lifted okay, not the best. Even though this is black, let me get in a better view. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but you can tell it's still kind of an opaque color or chalky color because it's still sitting on top of my lines, and you can I can see it from the color top here, and then the line, my opacity line. There's that. The crimson is kind of the same. It still didn't lift as well, but still a little bit more chalky up here. The brilliant red came out really nice. Lifted well enough. Gradient is pretty nice, and I got about 5 layers there. Ultramarine also lifted very nice, layered pretty well. Still quite a bit of binder or whatever on top of the line. Sap green, same thing, lifted very well. Yellow ochre definitely lifted very well. Medium yellow, this one didn't lift very much, and I don't know if you can see. It's like this got scratched and it scratched off some of the pigment, but can't seem to do the same thing with my fingernail. That Viridian did not lift very well. I believe that is a more staining color. Layered very well though. And finally, Phthalo, which also layered very well. And Phthalo is a staining color, so that did not lift very much. So those are the colors, and now I will paint with first we will do some color mixing so we can see a range of colors that you can get with these. Yellow.
Thank you.
So for this part, I'm going to do a little bit of a voiceover because my kids were home when I was recording, and it would have been nearly impossible to try and get a nice smooth recording with them running around in the background asking me what each thing is that they brought me. One reason I really wanted to do this that I hadn't done in my other videos is, for one, I don't like making my videos very long, and I try to definitely keep them under 45 minutes, which I already still think is kind of long. Right now I don't have a ton of subscribers and I don't want to bore them so I get more people who might be interested in seeing a little bit longer video, because there are plenty of other awesome YouTube artists who have color swatching videos. But I thought it would be nice to get a good range of colors that you can make with these, because color mixing is something that I need to get better at. I really want to get better at mixing my own colors and applying that to my artwork, so that way I can make better art. I don't know. So for these, I didn't mix everything together because that would have taken too long, even with as much as I sped this up. But I wanted to take most of the primaries I had and mix them with different colors, and then the greens, you'll see later, the greens and burnt umber, and there's a lot of really beautiful color mixes you can make with these. Yeah. So these are all the colors you can make. My favorites are always going to be blues and greens. I always have to, make myself navigate from only ever looking at blues and greens, but there are a lot of really beautiful colors. This is a piece I painted off camera with the Reeves paints to kind of show a little bit of the blending. Not really good at painting trees, sorry. I'm working on it. But I didn't get it super dark. And you can see it's a little grainy, or it's very textured. But the colors mixed pretty well while I was laying them down. I did it mostly wet, on wet technique. I think part of my problem is I just didn't have the patience to let it dry. So this piece took me a little while to figure out what I wanted to paint. I couldn't come up with anything. I have been lacking a little bit of inspiration lately. But I finally decided on these cactuses. It's one of the things I'd like to draw. If you've seen any of them on my Instagram, I have several pieces of cactuses that I did over there. And I kind of wanted to make it, I guess, a little more whimsical, or whatever you want to call it. I wanted to show some of the color mixing in this piece as well. So I made just a bunch of different multicolored cactuses. One common theme for this piece and most of my pieces lately is still learning to have the patience to let the watercolors actually dry before I add new layers or move on to another area. So I tried my best this time to work around that and work around stuff that had already dried, or at least the edges were dried, so that way I could continue on. And finally, one of the ways I like to edit or finish my pieces is to just kind of go and add some final details and outlines with some color pencil. And I will take a white Posca pen and add in some of the finishing touches. And so here it is. This is my finished piece using my Reeves Watercolors with a few details from my Faber-Castell colored pencils and a white Posca pen. I really like how it turned out. I really like all the colors. This is a good paint for beginners, which would probably be why I bought it 8 years ago, because I wanted to try watercolors, get into them, start learning about them, and then just between a lot of moves, I forgot I had them until I was cleaning out some boxes. But if you're able to find these, I would get these, especially if you're starting out or if you want to give them as a gift for somebody starting out. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave any comments in the section below. Subscribe if you like it. If you want to see more work from me, check me out on Instagram. Thank you.